Hey guys, what's up? It's Jack Close. It is Thursday, and today is the day we are actually going to start our game in Unity. I'm pretty excited about that. The game we're going to be working on, I think I decided it's going to be a third-person shooter round-based level game, or round game, not level-based. So it'll be rounds. We might be able to make some couple maps. I don't know if I'll just show you to one map, or if I'll actually make a couple. But first thing we're going to work on is the main game, and we're going to do the player movement first. So let's put in a plane in here by just going up to game object, other, plane. If you aren't to where I am right now with your own project created, go look at the last series. It shows you how to do that, and it talks about Unity and a lot of what I'm going to be using right now. So we put this plane in here. We'll just name this ground, if I can spell. Alright, and then we'll just center it out. And let's actually scale it up a little bit. 2 should be fine for right now. And then all of this is fine. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to add a capsule. And this is just going to be our placeholder for our player right now. We'll just zero this out too. And we can you can hit the F key, and it zooms into whatever you have selected. As you can see, it's kind of through the plane, and I believe it's 1. Yep, 1 will offset it up, so it's up on top of the plane now. Alright, so this is going to be our player, and let's go ahead and make this plane a little bit bigger. We can make it bigger later. This is going to be our player, and we want physics to act on it, but we don't want physics to act on it. If that makes any sense. We're gonna be using the should we use the velocity, or should we use translation in this game? You're not gonna be able to you're not colliding with anything. I guess you are. You'll be colliding with objects. We'll be using the velocity in the rigid body component. So we'll just go ahead and make sure you have your capsule selected. We'll name this player, and then we're gonna go add a component, physics, rigid body. Now you can put the mass up to say 50. Don't worry about drag, angular drag. We won't worry about that. Make sure you have used gravity. And one thing we're going to do is we're going to fix the constraints, because we go ahead and play this right now. And don't want maximum play. Alright. If we move this or drop it or anything, it falls over. And we don't want our player to fall over. So what we can do is we're just going to freeze the rotation on the X and the Z. And that way it can't fall over. It can only rotate in the Y direction, which is this way, as you can see in the picture, which is nice and exactly what we want for this game. One thing you saw, it's really dark in our scene. Let's just go ahead and throw a light in. We can just go to game object, create other, and we can just do directional light for right now. We can worry about lighting a little bit later. Alright, go back to our scene view now. And let's drag this out of the way. Alright, now we want our camera to be in our third-person view above our player, and we want it to follow our player. There are scripts already wrote. I'll show you how to get those. You can do import package, and then go down to scripts, and then just click import. And I'll click import, and this has some nice camera follow scripts that we will be using for this. You could write your own, but these will work just fine. So as you can see, they're just imported into the standard assets folder. And we can just select the main camera, and you can go up to component, camera control, and then we're going to do smooth follow. Alright? And we also, let's throw a camera smooth look at also. We're not going to want the camera to rotate with the player. We just want it to look at it and move side to side and up and down with it. So we're just going to turn this rotation damping off. And this target, you can see the variable target is looking for a transform. So we can just grab our player transform and just drag them in there. Alright, so now if we go ahead and play this, we can see our camera is tracking our player. So if I move this, you can see the camera move forward and back. Alright, so one thing to note, this is a little shallow. We want it really far away. And also I'm going to do more of a widescreen look, because that's what it's going to be in the final product. Maybe not even 4:3 will probably work. We want it to be a lot higher, so let's just change the height to about 10. Let's change the distance. Let's just get a look. Alright. We can play with it a little later once we have more stuff in the game. For right now, that'll work. One thing to note, everything you change over here while the game is in play, the play and the pause button, and this, you can pause it and then skip forward a frame at a time. That's what that does. Everything you do while the game is played, it won't save. So as you can see, we have 10:18 right here, and once we uncheck that, now you can see those disappear. So just remember them, and now they're saved, and we can just go ahead and play this. Let's go ahead and save our scene, and we're just going to save it in the main. We'll just call it gameplay for right now. Alright, so now let's write the player movement script. So over here in the project, let's go ahead and create a JavaScript, and let's just call it player move. Alright, and then we'll just double click this. Again, I'm using Unisite. You guys will probably default use MonoDevelop. You can use that. Writing code is pretty much the same thing. It's whatever editor you like to write in. I just happen to like Unisite. So our controls for this game, we're going to use the WASD keys. Move forward, backwards, left, and right. Yeah, we'll have strafing. And then we're going to use our mouse to look. Alright, so pretty simple there. It's not going to be too hard to write. Alright, so over here, if you have never used programming before, this is going to be a quick rundown on everything. Function start is going to be a function that everything inside this function is going to call on the first frame, or it's going to, right when this object is made, it's going to, or the script is made, it's going to do everything in this function, and in this update, it's going to do everything in this function every single frame after that. Alright, and then there's other functions that we'll probably talk about. But we'll talk about those when we get there. Alright, next thing we are going to do is we're going to declare some variables. We need a variable for speed, and we're just going to type var. We'll just call it move speed. One thing to note, declaring variables, you can do anything other than put a number in the first spot. You can use underscores. You can't use periods. I don't think you can use slashes, so just stick with letters and underscores. It is case sensitive, one thing to know. Alright, so we have our move speed, and we're going to want it to be a float. Now we're just going to go ahead and equal it and initialize it right away, and we'll just name, we'll just do 3.0. Make sure you have the 0.0, because if you just do 3, it'll initialize the variable as an integer, and we want a float. So just make sure you put 3.0 on it. Next thing, we'll just work on the movement right now. We can just get rid of the start function because we don't need it. And in this update, we're going to declare a function called move. Alright? And then down here, we're going to make the function called move. And now we're going to go ahead and get some inputs. Alright? Now the input system works really good in Unity for PC. Hence the really. We're just going to go in here and go to edit, project settings, input, and as you can see, some are already made, horizontal and vertical. We're just going to already use these because they're all set up. They're set up to left, right, A, D, all the settings we want. So we're just going to go ahead and use those defaults. So if we come over here, we're going to do if get, I believe it's get access. Yep, it's input dot get access. So we're just going to go ahead and do, we'll just type it out real quick, get input dot get access, and then we're going to call it horizontal. Make sure the spelling and the capitalization is right here and over here. And then we're just going to copy this, and we'll also make a vertical one. And we'll just comment these out, putting slash marks right here. Alright, so now let's make this thing move. We will be using velocity, like I said earlier. So we're going to call rigid body, which is the rigid body component on the player, dot velocity equals transform, or vector let's see, vector 3. In this case, we're going to have, it looks like, our left and right is going to be on the x-axis, and our forward and back will be on the z-axis. So this is going to be for left and right, which is the x-axis. So we'll just put 1 here, 0, 0, and then we're going to times that by input.getAxis horizontal. Alright? And one thing we'll note, yeah, just like that, and then we're also going to times that by move speed. Now at the end of every single line, you're going to need this semicolon. It just tells the computer that's the end of the line. We're just going to go ahead and copy this, and now we're going to do forward and back, which is the z-axis, and we'll just change this to vertical. Alright, so easy enough. We'll just go ahead, come over here, go to hierarchy, go ahead and select your player, and then we're going to just drag this player move and assign it. So now if we go ahead and play it, it's working, but it's going really slow, I believe. So forward and back works good, left and right. Oh, right here, as you can see, I have it equaling this and then equaling that right after. So we're just going to dot x, so that's the velocity in the x direction, and this is going to be the velocity in the z direction. I don't know why I didn't do that right away. My bad. Go ahead and save that, and now we can see it's updating, and now it's working. As you can see, we're moving a little slow, so we can just make our move speed a little bit bigger, and for right now that'll be just fine. Alright, so now let's work on the player looking. There's a couple ways we could do this. Since the player is always going to be in the middle of the screen, we could just do it wherever the mouse is, whatever quadrant the mouse is in, type of thing. Or another thing we could do is a raycast of the mouse to where it's pointing on the ground. We are going to do the raycast because it'll show you raycast and also some other logic in programming. Whereas if we did wherever the mouse is on the screen, that would just be more or less trigonometry, and no one likes trig, so we're just going to do raycast. Alright, so we'll go ahead and we'll just make it in our move. We're going to declare our ray. We're actually just going to look it up real quick. So if we go over to the Unity script reference that I said that you guys should bookmark, we'll just type in raycast, and then we'll go physics raycast, and right here, this is kinda this one right here, the last one. We're just gonna copy all of this, and we'll just paste it in right here. So what this is doing, it's declaring an array, which in this position, or in this, it's just gonna be through the camera wherever the mouse is. There's you can do physics rays from positions, type of stuff like that. For right now, we're just gonna do it from the camera through the mouse. This var hit, this is gonna hold all of our data of what the mouse hits. And then down here we have our if the raycast actually hits something using the ray and the hit variable. This is gonna be distance, and we're just gonna go mathf dot infinity, I believe. Yes. We can just go ahead and save that real quick. Go on our console and we can see we have no error, so it is capital I, infinity. Alright, this I'll just leave it there just so we can actually see what's going on here. And if we go ahead and play this and we split these up, you should, yep, you can see a ray. It's kind of really faint. I'll go like this. So you can see the ray. It's white. Why is it white? We don't want it white. Oh well. But yeah, so you can see the line, and then wherever it's hitting. What we're going to do is we want it to only raycast. We'll change it if it's a problem actually. So now we want the player to look wherever the raycast hits. So what we can do here, Sorry, just got a text message. Go ahead and delete that. We're going to declare another variable called position, look at position. And we're going to make that a vector 3. Alright? And we're going to make our look at position equal hit dot point. So wherever it hits, pretty much. Next, we're going to change the look at position, the y of it, and we're going to make that equal the transform dot position of us. So transform, we're calling the transform variable of the player right here. The position is this top, and we're going to look at the y component. Right? So now what this is going to do, just make sure our player isn't looking at the ground, it's just looking in the direction. And then we're just going to call transform.lookAt. And then as you can see put a transform or a vector 3. So we're just going to put in our look at position. Simple enough. Go ahead and save that. And we'll put these back together. Alright. Now we're going to want to see, it's a capsule, so if it's looking at something we're not going to be able to know. So we're just going to go ahead and add in a cube. And we're going to, in the hierarchy, we're just going to drag it to the player, so we're going to child it, where it's going to be a child of our player. And it can just be named cube. And we're just going to center this out. As you can see, it's right here. If you select the cube, you can see our front direction is this blue arrow. So in our cube, let's just move it up a little bit, scale them all down, and then we are going to scale the z direction to 1, to 2, and then we'll just move it over. So now we can see that our player, wow, that's huge. That's what she said. Alright, so there we go. So now we can see what direction our player is looking at. Alright, so if we go ahead and play this, we can see that our player is looking at wherever our mouse is and moving in the direction wherever the keyboard is going. So we have a basic move script. Pretty easy, pretty cool. Next thing we will do is we'll work on, let's see, we are going to make the script for people to chase us and follow us around. Trying to think how long I want this video to last. I believe it's a little over 10 minutes right now. We'll see where we get at the 20-minute mark. So we'll go ahead and unplay this. Let's just go ahead and duplicate this player, and we're just going to call this enemy, and get rid of the player move because it's not, because it's not a player. And also let's drag it off the player because we don't want him on top of him right away. That would be cheating. Alright, so let's go ahead and just file save this. Let's make a new script and we will name it. By the way, if you click off of it and you want to rename it, click it and then hold and then let go. And it'll change it. We'll call this enemy move. Alright, so just attach this. We can attach this to the enemy right away. Enemy. Alright. This start function we're actually going to use this time so we're going to want it to find the player. So we're just going to make a variable called player transform, and then we are going to function start. It's going to do player transform, if I can spell, equals, and then we can equal it to game object dot find. And then we're going to call either, you can put a name or the ID in here. We're just going to put the name, which is player.transform. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and find the object that's called player in our scene and assign it to this player so we can use it for later. Okay, so next let's go ahead and make a move function again. I just like making my functions outside of the update function. It just makes it a lot cleaner and easier to see. Alright, so we got that going on. Alright, so our move function, let's see. We're going to move in a certain direction, so to speak. It's not going to look it's not going to go diagonal. If it goes diagonal, you'll just start getting swarms of zombies, or whatever we're going to make these things. So we're going to just do so it moves only along the X and the Z. So we're going to declare a variable called move speed again. And just make that, I think we had 5, so let's make them a little slower. We'll just do 3 to start off with, a little slower than the player. And then we're also going to make a direction variable, and we're going to call that 0. Alright? So we're just going to go like this. So if direction equals 0, so if the direction is equal to 0, we're going to call, and we're also going to make another one. So this is actually direction, and we're going to make this a vector 2, and we're going to call this one, first one is the speed, and the next one, first one is the direction, and the next one is what way in the direction. So 0 would be on the x-axis, and 1 would be right, and -1 would be left, right? And then same way, this would be 1, so that's up and down, and then this would be up, -1 is down. So if direction equals 0, we're going to do rigid body dot velocity dot x equals direction dot x direction dot x up here dot y times move speed. All right. So I believe that looks the same. Yep, pretty much. So that way, if it's going whatever way we want it to, so we'll put a head 1 right here, and now this is going to be in the Z direction. Alright, so if we go ahead and what's our error? Line 7, player.transform. What? There we go, just delete the dot transform. So go ahead and play this. So now, what's our camera looking at? Camera is looking at our enemy. We don't want that. So go ahead and play that. And we will pause this real quick. And why? Oh my god, I had it played. So there we go. Go ahead and pause this. So as you can see, it's kind of just rotating around. But if we go ahead and select our zombie and say we put this to 1, now we can see it's going up and down. And if we change this to -1 before it falls off the map, it's going to start going that way. Alright? Now next we want it to look in the direction that we want. Alright? So we'll go transform dot Euler angles dot y equals, so if it's going left or right, it will be looking in the 90 or -90. So we'll just put 90 times direction dot y, and this will simply be 180. Alright, so let's see if this works. So yep, so we can see it's going in that direction, do -1, now it's going backwards, down, and there we go. And it's not looking backwards, so why is it not looking backwards? Oh, because 180 and this is going to be the exact same number. Alright, so if it's 1, alright, so if it's 1, if direction dot y equals 1, we want it to be 0, else we want it to be 180. So we can just go ahead and delete that and copy this and make that 0. So now it should, hopefully should work. There we go. And -1, make sure it works. Yep. Alright, so that's all good. I don't know if you guys noticed, but it like drifts when you change directions. See it like curve drift. I don't really want that. So what we're just going to do is we'll just go ahead and throw a control this equals 0. And we'll just put the same thing down here but for the X direction. So right when it changes, it's a hard, sharp corner. There we go. So now, how does it know what direction it needs to be in? Well, it's going to find direction. So we're going to go find direction. And we're just going to go ahead and do if. Alright, we're gonna, let's see. We want it to close the distance that is farther first. So first what we're going to do is we're going to see how far, or what distance is bigger. So if the math.abs, so the absolute value of the player.x, or transform minus our position .x, oops, put a position here. If that is bigger than our z length, alright, so if that is bigger, we want our direction is equal to 1. Well, technically, I guess not 1. Let's see. Yeah. Alright, so it's going to be, we'll just put it for 1 right now. Else, it's going to be, oh, this is 0, this is 1. But now we need to find our, yeah, I think that's right, isn't it? Yeah, left, right. Alright, now we have to figure out our direction.y. And how we're going to do this is we'll just do if player.transform.position.x is greater than our position. We know that our direction.y, so their position is bigger than ours, so we want to go in the positive x direction, which is to the right, which is 1, I believe. So we'll just make it equal to 1, and by default we're going to equal it to -1, alright? And we'll just go ahead and copy this down here, change these with z, and let's see if that, go ahead and play that. Oh, math, oh, it's math F, my bad. See if we have, nope, no more errors, so go ahead and play that, and as you can see, it works. So if we go ahead and, oh, into the scene and we just move it around here. Oh, that's not good. Oh, how we can fix that? So see, it's kind of at the, they're both the same, so it keeps switching. What we're gonna do to fix that is we're gonna simply not find the direction every single frame. We're only gonna find the direction once the gap, excuse me, between, so like say it's going in the x direction, but it's only going to move that way until this distance between like the x position is say greater or less than 1. All right, and then it's going to switch directions because it's close enough that it doesn't have to do it anymore. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make a function called check direction. So we're just going to check if our direction is good. So we'll go function check direction. And then we can do, let's see, our direction. If we're going to find our direction right away, and then we can delete that for right now. Alright, so in our check direction, we're just going to check the distance this distance pretty much. So we'll just go ahead and copy all this, but we can get rid of this last half. So if the distance in the x direction, my bad, if the direction dot x equals 0, so we are moving in the x direction, not the z direction. If that distance is less than 1, so it's pretty close to, it's pretty much directly on it type of thing, we are going to find direction. Alright? And we're just going to do the exact same thing for 1, if it's 1. We're going to change these to z. So now that should fix it. So now if I run away over here, alright, so there we go. So now it's searching for us in a good timely manner. Let's see. Doesn't look like there's any errors right now. I can see one error that could happen, but it's not. So I think we're fine with this. I'm happy with it. That's the one thing I was worried about, but I don't think it's gonna be too big of a deal. I kind of like this movie. Alright, so I think this is gonna end this first Thursday video. Stay tuned, subscribe, make sure you like this video. The series is gonna be pretty cool. I suggest you stay tuned. Next video will be coming out on Tuesday. Have a nice week, guys.